The Hawks take on the Bucks game one, and that's going to be an 8:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Milwaukee. The Bucks are the 8-point favorite at home with the total at 226 flat. And if you like the Atlanta Hawks in an upset on the road here, they're plus 265 for some money line cash. Despite another tough day on my Patreon website yesterday, we still did manage to improve to 3-1 in our last four board member tier package picks on that Patreon page. And the good news is we have another board member tier package pick going off here this evening. We're starting to turn things around here. We still have over 1,100 loyal members who are currently signed up and active on that site. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, the link for that site is in the description section below. That's patreon.com/Brock Page. Now, the Hawks had just an absolute incredible effort against the Sixers in the second round. Got the job done in Game 7. And they also held Philadelphia to just 101 points a night through the final four games. Atlanta's also been really good rebounding the basketball this year. They're in the top 10 in the league in both offensive and defensive rebounding. Trae Young is averaging over 29 points a game in the postseason. A couple of rebounds and 10 assists for Trae. Meanwhile, John Collins is scoring over 13.5 points a night in the playoffs himself, along with 8 rebounds. Now, Collins is also making nearly 40% of his three-pointers in the postseason as well. Meanwhile, defensively, we're looking at an Atlanta team who's in the top 10 in the league in points allowed per contest. Doing very good defensively. They're also in the top 5 in defending the three ball as well. Now keep an eye on Bogdanovic. He's listed as questionable with a knee, although I'm fairly optimistic he'll perform here tonight. I'm also seeing reports that Cam Reddish has been upgraded to questionable for Game 1 as well. Haven't seen him in a while, so it would be nice to see him get a couple of minutes. But Atlanta, they're taking on a Milwaukee team who, despite coming back from down 2-0 against Brooklyn, they've still struggled to cover the number in that series. Milwaukee failed to cover the point spread in 4 out of their last 7 ball games. They also gave up 111 points or more 4 times during that series with Brooklyn as well. That's kind of their Achilles heel defensively. They've also struggled at the free throw line this season as well. They're doing a really poor job at the stripe. They're currently in the bottom 3 in the NBA in home free throw percentage. Meanwhile, defensively on the other end of the court, the Bucks are in the bottom 10 in guarding the three ball as well. I think I just mentioned that, but the Bucks are covering just 45% of their ball games overall for the season. They also tend to break down defensively late in games. They're in the bottom 10 in fourth quarter points allowed, bottom 3 in third quarter points allowed as well. When it comes to the total in this one, 7 out of Milwaukee's last 9 ball games stayed under the number. Atlanta went 80% to the under in their last 10 themselves. The Hawks are also 48-36 to the under for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward the Atlanta Hawks plus 8 and the under 226. And of course, one final reminder that we are 3-1 in our last 4 board member tier package picks on my Patreon website. And if you want to see which one of these YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/Brock Page. And with that, guys, now it's time for some shout outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of days or so. Shout out to Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci in the comment section. Shout out to Vishal Melaram, Summertime, Joe M, Edward Hunt, Michael Williams. Shout out to Jorge Huertas Vergara. Shout out to Big Marv Vlogs, King Jackson. And last but certainly not least, gotta give a shout out to my man, Kenneth Core. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys do end up getting a package here today on my Patreon website, just keep in mind, Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on that Patreon site, you're going to get access to that content all the way through the end of June. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.